It's 6 o'clock, and I'm calling the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of January 16th, 2025 to order. May we begin with the roll call?
Sure. Hector J. Garcia,
Here.
Rolando Cáceres, Cindy E. Cantu,
Here.
Michael Barron, Tony M. Narvaez,
Present.
Jean Bernarez,
Present.
Regina Portillo,
Present.
Daniela Sada Paz,
Here.
Adolfo G. Martinez. For the record, you do have quorum.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to excuse those?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Portillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On to election of officers.
Motion to table that until they appoint everybody. We still haven't done that.
So we have a motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, the motion was to table until
The appointee.
Everybody's appointed.
everybody's appointed.
So we have a motion and a second by Commissioner Belmontes. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Moving on to consider approval of minutes of the regular meeting of January 2nd, 2025.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Salapas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Do we have any citizen comments?
None at this time.
Motion to open public hearing 7A.
We have a motion,
Second.
second by Commissioner Portillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item 7A is public hearing recommendation of an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning Lot 5, Block 2, Martinez Business Park, Unit 2, located at 1414 Jackman Road from B3 Community Business District to B4 Highway Commercial District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant Tampico Properties, number 4, Jackman LLC, owner Ana Lisa Cantu is the representative. Property description, Lot 5, Block 2, Martinez Business Park, Unit 2, located at 1414 Jackman Road. Zone change request is from a B3 to a B4. The proposed use is for a surgical hospital. The applicant was advised about applying for a conditional use permit, CUP, and decided to attempt a zone change instead of applying for the conditional use permit. Letters sent were 15-4-0 against 0. These are the permitted uses for medical uses. These are the definitions of medical uses for trauma treatment center, also called emergency treatment center, emergency care clinic outpatient, urgent care clinic outpatient, clinic medical or dental. Location view, aerial view, street view, zone change signage, zoning overview, future land use. Staff recommendations, staff does not support the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against this item? Yes, you may. If you just state your name for the record.
Ana Cantu. I'm the representative for the property. The type of hospital that's going to be built there, just so you can have an idea, is an orthopedic state-of-the-art hospital. It's local doctor that would like to build there. I know the reason we actually applied is because there's several properties along the same street within the same block that are B4. So we just kind of assumed that it would fall into that same criteria. And he did say that if he needs another entrance, there is a property in the back that is for sale. So if he could have the egress and ingress from different streets, if that would be allowed. He cannot have conditional use permit because the state will not allow surgical hospitals to have a conditional use permit. So I just wanted to share that information with you. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak for or against this item?
Mr. Chair, I have a question for
Yes.
staff.
what's the biggest objection you all have to this?
I guess we can look at what our staff, of course, it's not in compliance with the comprehensive plan. It doesn't meet the location requirements for proposed B4 zones. It does abut a residential area to the east. B4 zones, as you know, allow for very intense uses, including warehousing, heavy automotive repair, and that's why we were suggesting the conditional use permit so as to preserve the base zone, so as not to introduce those uses that we know are, do provide negative impacts for residential zones. We were concerned about the access. Traffic along Jackman is already about 15,000 trips per day. Hospital, of course, is a pretty heavy generator. So with only one, as proposed, with only one method of access, we looked it up. A hospital will allow approximately 3 trips per peak hour per bed. So if you do the multiplications, I mean, we all understand, you know, hospitals generate a good amount of traffic. So, those are the main issues that we were concerned with.
And the residential you're talking about is multifamily, right?
There's some townhouses and multifamily.
And those are on the east side of the creek? There's a
That's
buffer
correct.
of the creek there in between?
Yes, there's a creek, and then there's 2 large apartment complexes and townhomes along Jackman.
And the biggest issue you all have is egress and ingress, the traffic count?
Well, I mean,
outside of the other items that
For
are on
us, I mean, by charter, we're required to, as much as possible, carry out the wishes of the comprehensive plan. So that's why we listed that one first. Access is a major factor, the location, the, you know, the trips that would be generated along this corridor, and then, of course, the abutting of the residential.
And I'm trying to, can't see what the neighboring zones are.
Are the lots across the street, where catty corner, it shows the shade of B4, are those B4 lots? The 1406 is apparently B4, but the 1405 and 1407 and 1401, are those?
Petty Garner, 1401 is building material sales, 1407 is a pharmacy, and 1405 are offices.
But it's zone B4?
They're all zone B4, however, the 1405, of course, is a B1 use, it's an office type
Right.
use. Pharmacies, I don't remember, probably retail, also a B1 or a B3 type use. The building material sales is the one that we would have, probably the B4 would be required. But again, the workforce solutions that's located at 1406, it's office type uses. The funeral home, it may require the B4.
I guess sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, staff, the B4 that is shown over at the corner of Jackman and Bartlett, that is the future Metro site, is that correct?
Jackman and
Bartlett to the east?
To
Isn't that the
the
maintenance facility, where the new maintenance facility is going to be?
just south of the R1 location, is that,
It's across from Summerwind, at the intersection of Bartlett and Jackman on
Right here?
on the southeast corner.
this one?
Yes, there's another
That's,
before.
that's El Metro's new facility.
Honestly, I'm not,
Okay.
I don't have that information with us. We have it as currently vacant.
Correct.
There's a lot of befores there.
There's a lot of B4s, exactly right.
Can we put up the map of the, please, of the surrounding zoning, please? So let's look at the B4s, right? The B4s are on McPherson and Jackman as far as the intersection, right? Kind of where, the red area is. So it's kind of closer to McPherson on both sides of Jackman, but you kind of transition towards, as you get closer to Bartlett, it's B3 and then R2 and then R1. So there's a good transition of zoning there. So I think that's, I'm assuming what the comprehensive plan kind of looks at, right? And
That's correct.
and it's deceiving to see that bottom Jackman and Bartlett because the airport is there. And I'm assuming that's one of the reasons they probably granted that before, is that there was nothing surrounding it as far as residential areas, as far as right next to it, like this zone case. Is that right, staff?
It
The
appears
B4
so.
on Bartlett and Jackman.
Ahí van a
Oh,
poner
it is,
algo de
it is the airport, sorry.
You're right.
Yes.
So, I mean, and now the question for the applicant, did the owner know this was a B3, that they were gonna have to change the zone case?
Yes.
And is it under contract or he's?
It's under contract.
So he hasn't made the purchase?
No, he
No.
hasn't made the purchase.
Okay.
The purchase hasn't been made.
But
It's-
they're aware.
It's contingent upon the zoning change.
Right, because a lot of times they'll purchase and come here,
no,
and then it becomes.
Try to resolve it, no.
Okay.
It's actually a contingency in the contract.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for staff or the applicant?
No.
If so, what sort of action would the commission like to take?
I'd like to make a motion and go with staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Portillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
I'm against it.
So we have one against and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4.
I think the hospital like that are very important wherever they come up. And I don't think it's gonna cause any, the traffic, I don't think it's gonna be the traffic that you actually calculated. And I think that area is deeper than.
Motion carries.
I understand Jackman because the Jackman and Bartlett is where the rock is. So there's always traffic jam there. But if they do or are able to get the Fenwick, through the other side, will alleviate a little bit of traffic. But because of the residential, that's the main issue.
Well, the vote, the motion's already passed.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mr. Chairman, just amending my vote to, in favor of it, or in opposition to the motion.
So it's
That's
1,
five.
2, 3, 4,
5 to 2.
5 to 2.
The majority of the presence of.
Right.
So motion carries.
And for the record, I came in at 6:04.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Let the
record
vote.
reflect that
Mr. Barron.
He was illegally.
that Commissioner Barron was present at 6:04.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 7B, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 18.7 acres located south of Sierra Vista Boulevard and west of Cuatro Vientos Road from B3 Community Business District to R1A Single Family Reduced Area District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we do have the applicant as Javier de Anda, the owner, and DAS Development LLC as the applicant, and Porras Nance Engineer as the representative. The location is approximately 18.7 acres located south of Sierra Vista Boulevard and west of Cuatro Vientos Road. The zone change request is from a B3 to an R1A. The proposed use is for residential. The letters sent were 47 and we had none for for or against. The location view, the aerial map, the street view, the zone change signage, the zoning overview map, the future land use map, the staff recommendation, staff supports the proposed zone change, the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Wayne Nance with Porras Engineering, and we're in favor of this zone change, and we're here to answer any questions you might have.
Are there any questions from Mr. Nance?
Highway now, what, make it.
I'll get with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
La salida va a ser por Cuatro Vientos Road?
Let me address that. If you notice on our presentation, your packet is slightly different. We had originally asked, we're gonna talk about it during the plat, because the plat will be here this evening also. We had originally asked for a connection to Cuatro Vientos, but we are no longer gonna be asking for that.
Right.
We've talked to the applicant, and we're moving towards them to coordinate with traffic. So on your staff report, you'll see that number 6, staff is recommending, but we're no longer, we've removed that comment. So we are in favor of this zone change.
But they're not gonna have an exit, or they're?
No, they will not
what?
have, well, we're not requesting, neither planning nor traffic. And again, probably best to talk about it during the planning process, but we're not requesting a connection to
plat.
Cuatro Vientos.
Yeah, got it.
Should we postpone this item until we address the plat first?
Well, the zone is pretty separate, you know, it just deals with the use.
And the plat's on
of
the
allowing
agenda as
the-
well, so.
So postpone this to the end of the agenda and then discuss the plat before we grant the zone. But,
Yeah, here nor there.
Es que son-
I think the owner's interested in residential
Versus-
regardless of
Whether there's
the
access here or no
interconnection,
access.
access here or there or wherever. I don't think that they're gonna be using it for business, the current zoning. So I think the R1A that we're requesting is the end game anyway for this.
And staff is in favor with it, with,
The
or
R1.
without, you know,
Yeah.
the zone, we're in favor of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against this item?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion to close public hearing and support staff's recommendation, and we have a second by Commissioner Sala Paz. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Motion to open public hearing 7C.
We have a motion. Second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item 7C, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning the east one-half of Lot 2, Block 248, Western Division, located at 914 Coke Street, from R2 Multifamily Residential District to B3 Community Business District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have Vidala M. Castillo as the owner and Fernando Castillo as the representative. Property location is east one-half of Lot 2, Block 248, Western Division, located at 914 Coke Street. The zone change request is from an R2 to a B3. Proposed uses for taxidermy. Letters sent were 32. We have none for, none against. Location view. Street view, aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff does not support. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing.
Algo comercial.
Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against this item?
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Sí, yo soy el dueño de ahí.
¿Su nombre?
Fernando Castillo. Sí, venía a ver si, pues, o sea, me podían, o sea, hacer el cambio para el B3, ya que no están alrededor. Yo pienso que, pues, también hay otras B3 también ahí. Y, bueno, mi propuesta era si me podían ayudar con ese cambio.
Are there any questions for Mr. Castillo? Yes.
¿Nos puede contar un poco de qué negocio planea tener ahí?
El negocio va a ser para hacer como lo tiene ahorita, para disecar animales, chiquitos, así, tú sabes, hay ciertas, sí, aves y todo eso. No es muy grande el negocio.
Y ahí mismo hace
Sí,
todo el proceso.
ahí mismo se va a hacer el procedimiento.
Ok.
Actualmente, ¿qué hay ahí?
Sí. Ahí actualmente era de compañía de aire acondicionados.
Ok.
También, o sea, nada que me moví de ahí yo. Y bueno, pues ahora el plan era poner el negocio.
Ah, ok.
Perdón por más preguntas, pero
Sí.
el procedimiento de hacer taxidermy
Sí.
¿Implica ruido o
No.
olores o algo así?
No, nada de eso, nada, no me implica nada de eso.
O sea, para los vecinos no serían...
No sería algo que sea dañino ni nada de eso, de que sea vaya a hacer ruido ni nada. Inclusive también cuando yo estaba con mi oficina ahí también no era nada de, era todo silencio, ahí nada más.
Ok, gracias.
Gracias. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nora Madrigal, and I live right next to this building that he's talking about. I'm the owner of the house next to him, and my husband also, and we have been there since 1994. Now, these people that bought this place from the previous owner that he died, and they bought it, they went in and they had been working like for 4 or 5 years with a residential permit, and they were not as a business. The other thing is that I am very adamant about begging for your decision to oppose it, because while they were there, they were working and they clean coils of the air conditioning business that they have. Now, they would dispense a white water liquid. We don't know whether they have to use chemicals to be able to clean a coil, if you even just Google it. This white liquid would run through the front of my house and drain into the city drain, okay? That was every single day. He had more than 7 or 8 trucks. They would take up all the space from the front of my house, the whole block, plus ours, and then they would even use the church parking also from San Bernardo and Coke Street. Now, the mornings, vulgarities with all these men that were there. At night, when they would come and they would punch in to leave and go to their homes, they would throw all the cans of beers that they would stay out there very late. This man is saying that there wasn't any noise. There was noise, okay? I don't mind that some other person comes as a resident, older people, even with children. I was a school teacher. I'm retired. I was a teacher for 30 years. And I do not believe that they should have allowed him to say that he is going to put a taxidermy business there, because he is selling his property. He has not sold it. So what makes it me and everyone believe that he is going to sell it to some taxidermist, and then in a month or two they can decide to do whatever, or maybe he goes back to having air conditions there. I strongly and beg you all to please consider what we as the residents there, because we are all people there. Okay? Thank you so
I have a
much.
question for you, ma'am. In the
Yes.
5 years that supposedly he was doing all this, did you report it?
Yes, sir, we did.
How many times?
Almost every month I would call. to
And did
the
they come and check the white liquid to tell you what it was, if it was hazardous or not hazardous? Because the city does that.
Sir, I called to the number for the city, and they went over there, even, I don't know the gentleman's name, but they sent someone over there, and they would send them sometimes early in the morning. They wouldn't come and do that cleaning until they would come from wherever they had gone to do jobs, okay? But if I'm not mistaken, I have an old phone, and I have a video, and I have pictures of this white solution that would go in there. Like I said, if you just even Google it, to clean coils, they have to use chemicals to clean the air conditions for them to become clean. And it will run right into the city drain.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against?
Hi, my name is Michelle Blake. I'm actually his representative for the sale of the property, which has not been sold. It's a contingent sale. The ones that are going to be purchasing the property are right here, sitting with us. I don't know anything what she's talking about the coils or anything like that. Right now, the property is vacant. So to proceed, you know, the changing of the zoning is what they're asking for. The people that are buying the property. He is selling it. He's not there.
Thank you.
Just so you can.
Thank you. I'll allow for one more comment. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against?
Mi nombre es Héctor Herrera, soy el propietario de la taxidermia. Queremos crecer, queremos cambiarnos de lugar porque es muy chico, entonces buscamos esa área de ahí con el presupuesto que tenemos y nos gustó el área para poner nuestro negocio. El negocio de la taxidermia, pues aquí en Laredo somos muy pocos y quiero ser uno de los principales que esté establecido con un negocio personal, familiar. Mi familia somos 3, mi esposa y mi hijo. Mi hijo ya está empezando a hacer taxidermia, tiene 15 años, entonces queremos seguir con el proceso de la taxidermia para muchos años. Yo tengo 20 años con la taxidermia y quiero seguir creciendo. ¿Alguna pregunta?
Yo tengo una pregunta sobre qué químicos usan, el proceso, o sea, pensando de que hay vecinos habría vecinos junto a ustedes. ¿Nos puede platicar un poco de lo que usa y cómo lo hace?
Las pieles, lo único que hacemos nosotros es salar las pieles y las pieles se mandan a una tenería fuera de aquí de Laredo porque no hay aquí en Laredo. Entonces, la única tenería más cerca es en Houston y otra está en San Antonio, cerquita de San Antonio, y las mandamos a las pieles allá y ellos nos las curten y nos las mandan curtidas y nosotros trabajamos. En el área donde trabajamos siempre está limpio, mi taxidermia. De hecho, nosotros comemos ahí en la taxidermia. Ahí casi estamos el mayor parte del tiempo desde las 9 de la mañana a las 6 de la tarde. A veces no salimos a comer y ahí estamos, ahí comemos. Nunca hemos tenido ningún problema de olores ni nada, entonces pues aquí estamos. Tengo 20 años y gracias a Dios nunca me ha pasado nada.
¿Y qué sería como el químico más agresivo que usan ahí?
Pues más que todo, las pinturas ya ahorita en la actualidad ya son puras pinturas vegetales, ¿sí? Yo pinto a veces los pescados con las pinturas que usan las mujeres para pintarse, los polvos, que son pinturas de polvos, rímels, cosas de esas. Lo más fuerte que puedo usar yo son los spray que venden en los que es brillos, que le ponemos tantito brillo en la nariz y ya es todo el venado, que se vea más húmedo más que todo. El pelo es el del venado, los cuernos es del venado, lo que lleva arriba de los cuernos es yeso, plasta París que le llaman, los ojos son de vidrio, no hay nada más que la pintura que le ponemos en la nariz a los venados.
Ok, gracias.
Sí.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. I actually have they do the same thing in our neighborhood. It never sells. Reese Meat Market. Yeah, they've had it there forever.
Y realmente nosotros aquí en Laredo somos una zona número 1 privilegiada, la cacería del venado cola blanca. Nosotros, nuestro mayor ingreso de la taxidermia son los gentes que vienen de Nueva York, Sur Carolina, Nebraska, muchas partes. Todos los que a veces no se arreglan los animales aquí, se los preparamos y se los mandamos a Canadá, se los mandamos a distintas partes del mundo. Preparadas las pieles de aquí de Laredo. Entonces lo que hacemos es algo que no muchos lo hacemos. Quisiera que en Laredo hubiera una taxidermia y después con el tiempo que se fuera la mejor aquí en Laredo. Reconocida, porque nadie nos reconoce.
Una pregunta, ¿hay algo que se desecha que sería problema para los vecinos?
Nosotros no podemos trabajar con animales echados a perder.
Okay.
¿Por qué? Porque si un animal que viene echado a perder se le va a caer el pelo. Y las personas no van a querer un venado en su casa sin pelo. ¿Sí? Entonces, hacemos lo más... Si una persona me llega con un animal echado a perder, no se lo voy a poder recibir porque no lo voy a poder arreglar. ¿Por qué? Porque él me va a recomendar con otra persona y la otra me va a decir, mira, este es un trabajo, yo estoy en Facebook, tenemos mi página en Facebook, se llama Top Point Taxidermy, pueden ver la calidad de trabajos y pues me considero el número 1 aquí en la área.
El problema que yo tengo es que estás intentando comprar un terreno que no tiene la propia zona. En zona que tienes que comprar es una de negocios. Y el terreno que quiere comprar es residencia. Y ese es el problema que yo tengo yo. Yo estoy en apoyo de su negocio y todo eso, pero el terreno que quieres comprar está indicado para residencia. Nomás quería decir eso para el archivo.
Yo quisiera comprar un terreno más grande. El presupuesto mío no me alcanza. Si me alcanzara mi presupuesto para comprar un terreno más grande, pues lo compraríamos, pero me tengo que yo acoplar a mis presupuestos y a mis gastos anuales para poder, porque ¿de qué sirve decir, ok, me voy a ir con un terreno grande y no lo voy a poder pagar? Entonces voy a quedar mal yo mismo. Entonces tengo mi récord limpio y quisiera hacer las cosas, por eso dije, vamos a apostar por esto, si se puede, qué bien. Si no se puede, pues, ni modo. Pero nunca me puedo esperar a algo que no sé si puedo hacer.
Thank you.
Sí.
I have a question for staff. On the zoning overview map, half of I guess he's asking for half, but the other half is pink. Is that the correct coding, pink?
If you look at the zoning overview, you see that all the B3 is typically located along San Bernardo, right? That's our old business, what was it, 35? Is it 35? So, and you have an old B4 to the west. This was one that staff did not support. As you can see, that the predominant zoning pattern is that you see that all that R2. And if you would pull back, it is almost unblemished. Other than that B3 to the west, the zoning pattern prevails. All that R2 is there's no other zones in the mix.
So I have
So, I mean,
a question for staff.
I feel like we've talked to the applicant quite a number of times. We think that this use is better suited to a conditional use permit. The applicant has determined that he does not want the conditional use permit. The conditional use permit would alleviate the concerns about extraneous uses, maybe other uses down the line, and would serve to prevent or mitigate any negative impacts, whatever those may be.
And what's the reasoning for not wanting
The B3?
a conditional use permit?
I'm not sure. They just told us they did
Before we
not
get to
want
that, I had a question on the current zoning and the current topic we're talking about.
Mhm.
If we can zoom in a little bit closer to the zone case, I just want to clarify something, if my vision is correct. On the overlay
Can
with
we zoom
zoning.
in?
Yeah,
Color-coded one.
Yeah.
That one.
right. I guess, can you zoom into that or not?
Go to the other one. There.
Right. so
Well,
cur-
no, that's the future land use.
Yeah,
Yeah, so is that the only maps we have? Without getting closer to the property?
you have one in your packet.
But not here to
not
show?
for here,
Okay.
no.
Well, I guess my vision's pretty bad, but the X in the middle there, surrounded by the dashes, that's the current zone case we're addressing, correct?
Yes.
Right. And to the left and to the right of that, there's a darker shade of pink.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what I was asking.
And is that currently B3 zone?
Yes.
Yes. So right now, right next to them, on either side of those property,
Mm-hmm.
you could put a taxidermy business if someone were to come in right now,
That's correct.
right? They can open up on the corner or to the left or to the right of this property.
So, staff, could you remind us what the application was for that property on the west side?
I want to say it was, and I think it happened in 2001. It was an application for appliance sales, I want to say.
Is it right? Currently, it looks like a residence.
Well, there is a residence directly, what was it? I looked at the map. The appliance sales was for the property on the corner.
Or maybe it's a store.
May I interject? Yes.
Go ahead. Well, just really short comment, not too.
I'm just gonna talk about what she's trying to decipher. We do live, if you could put the photo of the house, of their house, their place, there, right there. Okay, that yellow one? Yes. is our house, okay? At the corner, we have another house, but it is a store. It was a residential, and we changed the zoning. We came here and we changed the zoning to B3 because it was going to be it was a thrift store, okay?
Thrift store, that's what it was.
Yes.
Thrift store.
And so, right now, we're presently not, we have our things in there, we use it for storage, and, on occasion, we'll open it like maybe for 6 months, but as of right now, my husband is the one that tends to it because, he is already retired also. But, what happened here is that before, this gentleman here bought that place, okay, it used to be a driving school, okay? And the only thing with that, the driving school, he only would take 2 students, either from Nixon or from Martin. He would take them and teach them how to drive. So he had that plat. Now they converted into like a walkway from the door to the street. That there had divisions for the students to park. Now, if they're selling, this is the problem, that if they're selling, they shouldn't have even been allowed, you know, because there's no parking. They don't have parking. And then they converted that into a house. You're supposed to, if you're going to do a new building, because they added and they did all that new in the back, they didn't stay away from the fence 3 feet, at least 3 feet. They're right on my fence. That fence that divides belongs to us. And if I'm gonna have all these smells from the animals, where are they going to store those dead animals before they start working on them? I live right next door to them, to that building. I'm sick. I have an illness. My husband just had a massive heart attack last week. And so we're already done, you know, we're already retired. We don't want all of this going on there, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
So the current zone, Chair,
Yes.
to the west of it is a B3 or B4?
B3.
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 And the future land use?
The future land use has it as high-density residential. Because if you see the overwhelming pattern, is that the B3 is along San Bernardo, and then everything to the east is all R2. So other than that anomalous, or B3, that's the only one.
Which the opposition
Correct.
has and petitioned for that change, correct?
It seems so.
So that's
Which
why.
again, I want to reiterate, staff did not support that one either.
And that's why I had asked the question if that pink square was currently, is that correctly pink? Because I couldn't understand why that was a B3 in the
That
middle.
is
It's
correct.
not.
It is correctly identified.
I just don't think it's just, like if someone else has a B3 on the side, and they were able to change it, and now because, ¿cómo dice? Gajes del oficio crecieron, se fueron, ¿verdad? O sea, se retiran y ya no lo necesitan, ¿por qué otra persona no puede venir a pedir lo mismo?
Well, they can ask for it.
One more question for staff. Is B3 needed for the taxidermy, or can you do it on
Esa es
lower
mi otra
fence?
cuestión.
It does, the base zone requirement for the
Is B3?
taxidermy is B3. However, again, it could be accommodated through a conditional use permit.
And here's the thing, currently these properties are B3 next to this one property. One day,
Everything is
50 years from now, someone else may own it, may not, but they can do this business at these locations next to it.
No, pues, so, motion to go against, staff recommendations.
Close public hearing and go against it.
Close public hearing and motion to go against, staff recommendations.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Next item is, motion to open public hearing 7D.
We have a motion? We have a motion?
We do?
A second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sabas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 7D.
They'll explain it to you all.
amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning Lot 8, Block 261, Eastern Division, located at 1907 Monterrey Street from R3 Mixed Residential District to R1A Single Family Resident Reduced Area District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have Monica Solvia as the owner, and we have Ricardo Ramos as the representative. Property location is Lot 8, Block 261, Eastern Division, located at 1907 Monterrey Street. Zone change request is from R3 to R1A. Proposed use is residential. Letter sent, 422. We have none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against this item?
Motion to close the public hearing and support staff's recommendation.
We have a motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Moving on to consideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Item 8A is preliminary consideration of the plat of Las Aves or Las Aves subdivision. The intent is residential.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is NDS Development, Engineers Qualis Engineering. Proposed use is residential. The zoning for this 123 lot development is B3 and R1A. Location view. Aerial view. The proposed plat. Staff comments.
Bless you.
Bless you.
There was some updates on the comments.
Okay.
It's reflected on the slide.
Which one is it?
Number 1 was striked, and number 9 was added.
Can you read out?
What, yeah, what,
Yes.
can you read it out?
So number 9 says extend Nispero Lane and Charamuya Lane to Maracuya Drive. Bless you. And extend Pitaya Drive to the northern and southern boundaries of the subdivision.
And what was the first one that they scratched out? What's the difference between one and the other?
The first one is provide a roadway connection to Cuatro Vientos Road for additional access.
Okay,
We went ahead and strike that one out.
okay, got it.
Fire and traffic safety. We also added the same comment for this. And parks and leisure. Proposed motion.
Thank you. Mr. Nance?
Good afternoon. Wayne Nance with Porras Engineering. We appreciate staff working with us to remove the first item for safety. But we would ask the new ones that were worked out. We just spoke with the traffic director, the city's traffic director, right before the meeting. And rather than identify exact other internal changes to make, we would like to address those during the one-stop shop. So we would request that the new items, item 9 and item 3 in traffic, actually be replaced with, how would I say this, the street layout to be coordinated during the one-stop shop with the traffic department.
Basically, the subject language, Mr. Chair, that was used in the zone change, which said that you guys would coordinate with traffic.
Basically, coordinate with the traffic department for internal roadway structures. That would be what we would prefer.
Would it be agreeable?
You'd be fine with that?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Chair, and traffic is okay with that as well? I mean, concur?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve, subject to the comments stricken and the comments added and the additional edits to those comments.
We have a motion. Second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Moving on to consideration of the following final plats and final replats. If there's no objection from staff or commission to hear items 9A through 9E together.
Motion?
Second. Motion is second by Commissioner Belmontes. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Now, we have a motion to action on items 9A.
To approve 9A,
Through
9B, 9C, 9D, and 9E.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Belmontes. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Can we read those into record?
Yes, sir. For the record, final consideration of the plat of ND Achar Industrial Park Phase 5 approved. Final consideration of the replat of Lot 1, Block 1, San Isidro Northeast Corner Retail Plat into Lots 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and 1E. Block 1, San Isidro Northeast Corner Retail Plat approved. Final consideration of the plat of SKG Del Mar Boulevard, Billboard Number 1 approved. Final consideration of the plat of SKG Del Mar Billboard Number 2 approved. And final consideration of the plat of Cuatro Vientos Sur Subdivision Phase 12 approved.
Thank you. Moving on to consideration of extension of the following final plats and final replats. Also, if there's no objection by staff or commission to hear items 10A and 10B together.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second by Commissioner Barron. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Now can we have a motion of action for items 10A and 10B? Request is approval.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Salapas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Can we also read those into record, please?
Yes. For the record, consideration of a 6-month extension to the final plat approval of a Doug Stanley plat approved. Consideration of a 6-month extension of the final plat approval of the replat of 2-acre tract of land in Lot 2, Block 1, Betos subdivision Phase 1 into Lot 1, Block 1, Dariana Saunders plat approved.
Thank you. Moving on to item 11A, discussion and possible action.
Before you go on,
Yes.
Attorney, can we go back and reopen 9C and 9D? I want to abstain on that, I just forgot that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, a motion to revisit items 9B and 9C.
No, 9C.
I'm sorry, 9C and 9D, I'm sorry.
Okay.
9C and 9D.
Second.
We have a motion second to revisit items 9C and 9D. And we have a second by Commissioner Portillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Motion to approve, subject to staff comments, for 9C and 9D.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
I abstain.
Say, so we have
4, 5, 6.
6
Yeah,
and 1 abstention. Okay. Thank you. Now moving on to discussion and possible action. Item 11A is discussion and possible action to change the time and venue of the regular scheduled Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of February 20, 2025.
Yes, February 20th, Thursday, our regular meeting day, is of course the Youth Parade Day. So it'll be very, very, very difficult to access the downtown. So we wanted to approach you with alternative meeting days. Unfortunately, the chambers are very difficult to secure outside of our regular meeting day. So what we've been able to secure is Wednesday, that will be the day before, at noon, first floor conference room. That'll be the little conference room out here in the front. Thursday, again, at 1, so our regular meeting day, but at 1 o'clock, first floor conference room. Again, he's still here at City Hall. Or Friday at noon, here in the chambers. So,
And there's no possibility to open it, to have it at the library, the public library?
I think we researched the library and they had, what was it they have, other things going on?
Yes, they had the Vita program.
Oh, the tax
Yes.
program.
So the tax program, they're
Yeah.
scheduled Monday, Wednesday, I believe, and Saturday, but they leave their equipment there.
This one?
I have a suggestion. I know in other commissions, they do it also virtually, or how do you say, ¿cómo se dice? Híbrido? Hybrid, or hybrid. I know in this case, this is an important commission, right, and we should be present, but if we do not do quorum, a lot of the, how do you say, people that come will have to wait until 2 or 3 weeks prior to that time. And like in this special occasions or something like that, not everybody, right? But For example, me, that I do not like to miss, and I missed twice, right? And I would have been able to connect because I wasn't here, right? But I don't know if we used to do it in the pandemic or after the pandemic. I don't know if we can do that also. I don't know what we have to do legal.
Yeah, it's allowed legally. It's allowed to be present virtually. We actually changed it to where, for our city council, it's as long as there's a physical quorum present, other members can join virtually. I believe for other boards, quorum can be established with a virtual attendance.
So would virtual be appropriate for this situation?
Virtual would be allowed if for any meeting, really. As Commissioner,
Because of this, it's like I wanted also to give it this suggestion because, for example, this time, maybe in our line of work, certain people can come, but for example, maybe Mr. Chairman cannot be present. I would maybe be here, but he would also be connected virtually, or because of the time. Not everybody can come at 12 or at 1, for example, in this particular time. And for example, the one that was the 2nd of January, because I was out of town. I don't know how many came, but like I was out of town and I couldn't be here. And I know that in other commissions, it doesn't matter where you're at, as long as there's 4 or 5 here, or 4 here, you can connect virtually.
the same does apply. I mean, the logistics would have to be worked out, I'm sure, with city staff, but that can be done.
Okay.
So,
I mean, if we could do a virtual meeting, I would prefer it this first Wednesday at noon, but if we can do
Yes.
Google Meet as a meeting, then I'm all for that. That'd be good.
so just for clarification, you do need some present members present live, or you don't? Need
No, for
Yeah.
our city council, you need a physical quorum present, but I believe we changed
for others?
we changed the other ordinance for our other boards and commissions to where quorum can be established regardless of whether there's some physical, whether there's some virtual, as long as we have a quorum, meeting.
I guess so.
Mr. Chair, given
Yes.
that this is a statutory body, can we make sure that that's permissible? I mean, I want to make sure that.
I'll confirm that, to see if there's anything, because this is a board is special. But I believe that is the case.
I like to think we
But
are.
Special and
But I will confirm that and get you a final answer, but I'm fairly certain in my answer. And if not, at the very least, what can be done is the physical quorum present and other members can join virtually. That is the standard for our governing bodies. So at the very least, that definitely is available.
Because the only
Y
concern,
no te cuentan la falta, o sea, eso
the only
también.
concern I have is the people that come and speak for and against, people, you can't control it through,
So,
No, that's why there has to be somebody present. Like,
can
I'm
be
not
here.
saying that nobody
do you need us
comes.
to act
That hybrid.
today, or can we
It
act
could
on the
be
next
hybrid.
meeting after we get the information from legal in regards to having a statutory body here, President?
I suggest that if you're gonna do it the day before, not the
Yes.
day of. Because they're gonna be closing streets anyway the day
Let's
before.
just choose,
and
let's just
go, yeah.
choose an hour and let them confirm.
Okay.
I would choose Wednesday at noon.
At noon.
Yes, that works.
available.
If you'll make that in the form of a motion, I'll second it.
Sure.
Okay,
I motion that it's Wednesday at noon.
I second that.
so we have a motion and a second by Commissioner Bernardes, all in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries for Wednesday at noon. Any director's comments?
Due to, I guess this is more for the public, due to the inclement weather that we're expecting next week, it appears that city council will be moved from the time that was gonna be the next Tuesday, the 21st. It'll be next Thursday, the 28th, Tuesday, the 28th.
Okay.
So,
Thursday the 28th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the following week.
We move from Tuesday to the following Tuesday,
Okay.
Monday or Tuesday, or
Y si
Tuesday,
no
right?
se fría,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Monday, oh.
Vanessa, and also, I don't know if you guys can start looking at, I know there's two conferences, the American Planning Association Conference and the Texas APA Conference. And I think would be beneficial for this commission, at least one or two, or to attend those. I think that's something that was really good for this commission to try to make. I don't know if you have any information on it, if you don't, or if you can, we'd appreciate it.
We can provide that information.
Thanks.
Thank you. If there's no other comments, then can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Salinas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. We've adjourned.